Oi oi, this video here was originally filmed on the 19th of November 2020. Now, I'm doing this voiceover part here after the fact because, like a muppet, I went ahead and started recording from Twitch without the bloody mic turned on. To add insult to injury, I didn't record to my hard drive as I normally do. So I've had to stitch together everything from the Twitch streams. Fortunately, a viewer on Twitch did alert me to the fact, as you'll see toward the end of this trade, that my mic was turned off. But anyway, I'll let this video run just so you can see how the trade was set up, even though it doesn't have commentary. These are long ass videos anyway, but the commentary starts again at around 19 minutes.
This event will start in 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Bloody hell. My mistake again, the mic was off. Thank you. Let me just had a quick peek on Fruit Shoot 82. Appreciate that. That could have been another. I may have to take a loss on this now. But the premise of this was coming in. There was strong steamer. This was drifting. Dynamics of this have changed, so I need to act accordingly. Got less time to work with now. I was seeing that this level here was finding support. There we go. And that's still got £4 to lay off. Okay, just gonna recompose. Gonna have to take a loss on this. Was making a gain. Ah, dear oh dear. What a way to start the day. But yeah, c'est la vie. That was basically a position that was profitable. Was managing into profit. Something happened, and as you know, in a split second, shit can happen. And you can lose money, but the thing to take from that, the thing to learn from that, is not to get angry at the market. You know, I could have been like, oh right, oh, I was in profit, I had that profit, I was in gain there. Fuck you, market, I'm gonna get back at you. but that's not really the way to do it. The market ran away on me, the position had gone bad, you know, just take the loss, take it on the chin, and then move on. So running out on time on this one, just move on to the next one. That's the way she goes. So next one. So next one here, we've got a favorite here coming. So just a quick look over the market. I guess I'll say some things I started with before that weren't recorded. Basically, first things I'm looking for would be the match volume on the market, looking to make sure there's an adequate amount. So 44 grand with 12 minutes to go. It's a decent amount. Books relatively tight, 101. Got a clear favorite here, twos coming approaching odds on. And I'm looking for a trend, basically, same as you look for in a financial market. Looking for a viable trend. This had steamed in, but then it started to drift. You can see how it's come in and it's found support at these previous levels. So this previous low here, and it's bounced away and it's starting to drift. So there's no discernible trend, but I can see it has hit resistance at these previous highs. So this high. So it's found a floor, found a support, and then moved and not moved much higher. So 11 minutes to go. Just seeing how that might be tradable. Just gonna get a temperature for the market first of all. Yeah, I need to make it a checklist to check on this bloody OBS, because for some reason it just changed my mic to a different one. So yeah, always check your equipment. And so okay, so this is this looks, so twos is a significant level here. Twos, as well as being a crossover or a psych level, as I call it, psychological level. It's just an important level. So you can see as it's approached this and gone through it, it's been quite reactive and it's starting to move away from it. What will typically happen now is after it's done this kind of impulsive move down, it has a tendency to retrace. So the reason I'm not trying to jump on this now, there's a few reasons. First of all, I might just catch the bottom and it will just retrace. Second of all, there's not really much money there. It's all these two digit numbers. So it's moving, but it's not, there's nothing really moving it. You can see if you look at the matched volume on this chart. Oh, it's a big order. I hadn't seen that. It was about £2 grand order that would come through that was earlier. But this movement is just on air really. So I am looking for movement, but I'm looking for movement with something behind it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a tentative short in here because there's some evidence that this could move lower, but I want to get in at a decent price on it. So I'm not going to go at the touch or market price. I'm going to put it slightly outside of the money in the anticipation that the price is going to retrace and fill me there, and then I can potentially take advantage of it if it were to move lower. But there are quite a few things to overcome. This support has been quite significant here previously and in recent moves. So that's why I'm trying to get a higher fill, so that potentially I can ride it down to at least support, and then ideally a break of support. So still 8 minutes to the off. Just have a quick reorder, see if anything has substantially come in or moved out. There's a bit more money appearing now. And I'm just going to cancel that because I'm not as, the dynamic of the market had changed slightly as well. Whereas before I was favouring a potential move lower, it's finding support there, starting to move up. So just wait a little bit and reassess. So this creeping higher is going to help this move lower, but it's not. It's just hitting resistance there. And I've got no qualms about getting in at a worse price, like a market order here. So just rather than having that speculative one up there, but I want to see, you know, some weight behind it, some money, and, you know, radical move out on this would help, which I'm not seeing. So I'm just holding tight. Hold tight. Okay, some money's coming in now, so I'm gonna just see how that works out. Just gonna take a tick on that, because yeah, it's not convincing. Just looking to scratch some of that, potentially all of it. You can see this slight drift here. This drift, so it's just bouncing off of just underneath twos. So I need to just act a bit faster than I might have done on different days, really. That drift, didn't like that, and this has started to come in. So it looks like this could potentially drift, with a break of twos being a significant reason to potentially lay this. So you can see I'm just changing my decisions based on how the market progresses and how long it takes to do something. So initially I was thinking, oh, you know, when we first came to this, seeing that and thinking, okay, this thing's steaming in. It didn't. It started to move up, consolidate, move sideways, hit resistance. So now, rather than looking to short, I'm potentially looking to go.
This event will start in 5 minutes.
To go long
5
on this.
minutes.
Of course, other people may read this differently and interpret it completely different to I do. But yeah, that's what a market needs. Differing opinions. Otherwise, there's going to be no one to match the other side of your bet, your order. Market needs a buyer and a seller. So this chart hasn't updated, I don't think. I think that's broken that support and moved lower. You can see the volumes just increase there as well. 4 minutes to the off. Just don't like that area of support there. I don't want to buy into that support, and what I mean by that is buying into basically the bottom. You want to buy it off of resistance, ideally, or sorry, sell off of resistance, not sell into support. Mm. 3 minutes, decent movement, but yeah, I haven't really made much of this. I mean, I could fade this, which is basically, oh, hang on. Yeah, okay. So saw a big jump there on that, and this jumped up this way. So I'm potentially, oh no, hang on. That's a lot of things happening very quickly there. But I had seen this jump up, which led me to jump on this. But it might have been a bad move, especially with such little time now to work with. So it's broken too, so it's now starting to make a clear sign of a drift. Move that to break even. And okay, got filled on that, just going to get out. So, oh shit, still got two to lay. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I think I was covering a small loss on that, and then that's just been recovered, brought back to break even. A massive 1p across the board, regardless of outcome. But that one was a bit tricky because, I mean, it was a bit, you know, when we first came in, it looked like it was coming in, steaming. At that moment, it broke twos, and you can see what I mean when it breaks a crossover. You saw how much more active it got and fast it moved up after it broke twos. It started to run away, and then it came back, kind of corrected, and then, well, it's not really a correction, but it came back and then it moved back down again to what it was originally, and now it's gone past twos, and now it's aggressively moving low again. So those crossover points can be quite you know, reactive areas. And my thinking is basically, because I call them psychological levels, because it's just people psychologically like those whole numbers, so they're going to have money to back or lay at those whole numbers, twos, threes, fours, in case you wonder what a whole number is. So 10 minutes to off. So we've got favourite at fives. So these are very similar priced. So he's probably going to have a very close relationship to it. Although just looking at the charts in the recent movement, they look like they've moved in a very similar way. I'm just looking at this move here. Bang, 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 bang. So it's just very similar over a very similar amount of time. So just waiting for a while just to see what appears to me here. Decent amount matched. Just things to look over if you're looking at you know, you need to market. Just look for the volume here to be a substantial amount. I guess over 30-40 grand with you know, with 10 minutes to go is pretty good. It's good enough. Tight book, near to 100% as possible. This is at 101.7, so it's quite tight. And ideally some clear signs of trend on one of the charts. So these for me aren't, I mean, it has come in, it's found support at this level here. Can't quite read what that is, probably fives. Yep, so 5 here's the low as it's traded. It's moved away, it's come back down into it. So that's something to kind of take into consideration, because as it approaches this now, it could just bounce, which I think could happen. I'm not acting on it just yet, but it could bounce and just find support off of this level where it's interacted with these lows previously, or it could continue to make new lower lows. Oh, so this has that just moved in? Come on, update. No, it hasn't. So this coming in is obviously going to add believability to this potentially bouncing. So just wait for a sec here as well. In fact, this looks like a better candidate for a lay, because this is also coming into fives as this one was, but you can see this is more of a this has had more of a trend to it now. It's created lower lows, lower highs, whereas this is still consolidated. So I'm going to put a tentative lay order on here. And what I'm saying by this is I'd need to see this continue to move in, and then obviously this drift. So I'm just trying to get a decent price on this, which is why I'm not going for the market price. But it could just run away on me. Yeah, it's gone a few ticks already. 6 minutes to the off, so there's going to be some more money coming soon. Just having a quick peek just to see if what I was thinking still holds true. I mean, it's a tricky one. These just seem to be correlated, which is just reorder those. So this is now the favorite. It was the second favorite. Yeah, so I mean, I haven't really seen enough markets to make to read into these too much, but it's rare to see. There's a definite amount of correlation I can see in these two charts. Just not experienced enough really to know how to best play that or what it means. So I've missed this. The reason I want this at around fives is because it will just give a better value for money, and it's a clear area of support. I might have missed this, so I'm just going to cancel those because it didn't really play out as I wanted. Started to drift. Apologies for the squeaky chair. So just sit back and think for a sec here. So this level here looks like it's been resistance. Just missed it in that move there. So around 5 point whatever that is, just under 5.5.
This event will start in 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
No. It's probably going to bounce off of fives here. So do I want to buy this market, even though it's showing a slight bias to a steam? I am contemplating laying this. I'd need to see a sharp movement over there. All right, I'm gonna. There's not much room to maneuver for this to come in lower to push this higher, because as it approaches at fives, it could just find support there again. But this is maybe slightly risky. But I'm just trying to lay this on support with the anticipation that there's going to be some move back higher, some retrace. Right, I'm going to do it at fives. So I'm trying to take my profit before this previous high here, because as it moves into it, it might just hit resistance. So I'm trying to make sure I get a fill before that level. kept this in as well, just in case it does edge down. Okay, got filled on that. 3 minutes to the off. I'm gonna green on this. So that felt like what's called fading. So you're going against the overall trend. So this, you can see how it's made lower highs, but then the lows have started to kind of taper off. They've got slightly lower, marginally lower, but it's just found support at this level around this 5 point, I guess it was fives, right, or just above fives, and that just makes it slightly harder to read. But basically the profit potential that I was seeing with this was between the support at fives and then up to whatever that resistance was, 5.5. So it's a very small margin of profit. Ideally what you want to do is get on things that have more legs to potentially give you more profit, which is why it makes more sense to look at something that's trending, so steaming in or drifting out. You can see the dynamics. This is just completely changed in the last couple of minutes. It's just broken out that previous resistance. But yeah, hey ho, I'm out of the market. I greened up. Yep, greened up. So on to the next one. So we've got the 110. Excuse me. 110, 10 minutes away, 11 minutes away. This first thing that popped out was this extreme steamer. Stream steamer. Favorite here is a bit choppy, very, you know, consolidated. It's in a very tight range, bouncing around between, I guess, you know, this 325 to these highs here, maybe 3.5. So that's its range. This looks like it's in recent times had trouble passing much lower than fours, so it could be finding support there. Nothing to act on just yet. I'm just wary of that. You know, just commenting on what I see. 33 grand matched. It's okay. Seen better. 10 minutes to the off though, so that could pick up. Tight book. Good enough to trade. Certainly if I had higher stakes as well. It's always a thing I'm thinking at the back of my mind. Is the money going to be able to absorb what I throw at it from, you know, small to bigger stakes? Thing I found is the Irish markets as well seem to be a lot less liquid. So those might be ones to avoid going forward. But it all depends. Ça dépend. So we've got this here. It's just really rangy. Trying to not do anything too stupid, not get, you know, bored and look for shit to do. It's a good way to lose money, or just like on that first one you saw, lose concentration, and therefore lose money. Because it can all happen in an instant, a blink of the eye. But that's, I mean, that's one of the things of, you know, compared to other markets or trading horses this way, it does happen relatively fast. So whether this were, whereas if this were like, let's put it in terms that I've got experience. So like Forex market, for example, if you're doing like swing trading over a few days, it can take, even on an intraday, if you're doing it, you know, on a smaller time frame, it can take still quite a while for a position to materialize and for the profits or losses to materialize. Things can happen. There are things that can have an impact that make it move relatively quickly, but generally depending on how you trade those markets, it can take a little more time for a position to come to fruition. Here, you know, you've got to be thinking, you can have to make decisions relatively quick, which is the value in, you know, starting out small, just to get used to making those decisions. So 7 minutes to the off. Volume hasn't really picked up much. This 4, you can see it's consolidated for an even longer period of time, so really is struggling to move much lower. Could in fact find bounce. In fact, just notice a slight drift on this. Just read all of those. This is drifting as well. Could mean this is prepped to break falls, but yeah, we'd need to see some money build up on this side really, and more evidence of these drifting. But as it stands, I'm okay. I'm looking for. Sorry, I just need to think a sec here. 3, 5. I'll take a partial on that. Take a pip on that, take a tick on that. So okay, so I was looking for evidence of this potentially moving lower, which is saw, as again, like I said, it can happen relatively quickly. There wasn't much evidence of this moving higher, but this did break 4s and it's sustaining below 4. So what I anticipate, in fact, I'm just going to move that up, is that it could, now that it's broken through 4s, is it could now come back and find resistance off of that 4, which was previous support. So what was a floor now becomes a ceiling, and edge a bit lower. So what I've done there is I've taken a partial exit as well. So I've taken only a tick, just to be a bit more, you know, cautious, because there hadn't been any discerning moves higher on this one.
This event will start in 5 minutes.
But it had broken 4s. So I'm looking for just timing to do a manual close of this remaining position. Just evidence that this could continue down. So we've got some skin in the game. Left this one up here as well, should the price retrace again. This is drifting, which is going to be helpful to the position. This is also drifting, as is this, or at least it's at the top of its range. But got to be careful not to give too much money back. So I'm just looking for evidence that the price could just stall and not being too greedy. Fact. Okay, I'm just gonna exit there. Still 4 minutes to the off, plenty of time. And that will be an interesting one to rewind. There's maybe got a bit jittery there in terms of taking that profit off the table, but I'm happy with the profit level achieved. And we'll just green that up, and won't really participate in this now to potentially you know, jeopardize that profit. But yeah, it does look, I do feel this could still move lower. It's just I haven't really got enough time to act on that. And you can see as well, this has started to drift, this has started to come in more aggressively. It's that seesaw action. So as this one, let me think, as this one goes up, this one comes down, it'll be vice versa. As this one goes up, this one will come down. So they're inversely correlated, like mirror images of each other. So on to the next one. The next race is 1320. Must admit, I do like the spacing of these markets today. It was a bit odd for beginners. So I've been doing this every day, but the spacing on some of the other days was just a bit odd. It was like 5 minutes, then it was like 15 minutes, then 20. Today there's been a nice regular every 10 minutes, which is what I prefer. Fruitshare, oh, appreciate it. Yeah, thanks, Fruitshare82. Yeah, nice trade. It was one to be happy with. But again, if anyone else doing this, I just reckon just record what you do, and it depends what works for you. Like if you find it useful to record what you're you know, doing, just the main purpose of me doing this is just to capture my stream of thought. I don't know how helpful this is going to be for anyone else, because it's just me jammering away, but in order to help your own trading, it can be useful to, you know, record what you're doing and also what you're thinking, more importantly, at that point in time, whether that be video or I guess writing down. I guess video is the most accurate because you just got a step-by-step play of everything that you do. But yeah, stop talking away there. So we've got 10 minutes, 11 minutes to the off. Favorite here coming in, finding support. You can see these previous levels here. So these lows that it's, I'm going to say around these levels here. Can't really see on the chart here. Is that 250? Just below 250. Yeah, I would love to have more readable charts on this software, but hey ho. So this has come in, consolidating, very flat at the moment. This has this is quite rangy as well. You can see it's kind of in with a channel, within a channel. Come down to 3s as a low support and 350 as a high as resistance. You can see that also in the ladder. So yeah, it's just waiting for something that's a bit more readable and a bit more volume to come into the market before acting on. 10 minutes to the off, 67 grand matched, 101 on the books. That's quite tight. This is decent for trading, but it's just waiting for the right conditions to come up. Da, 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 da. Just looking off screen very briefly. So yeah, waiting game. So looks like this could have a drift on it, starting to break resistance. This looks like this could be drifting too. See what it might be coming in. Just reorder these just in case. Still undecided what to do on this one. Waiting for the money to come in. Just 8 minutes now, so next 3 minutes there should be more money coming in, although these do seem to be jumping around a bit. Let's see if it's getting matched though. Dun, dun, dun. Fruit Shoe 82, presenting a Percy potential Gold Cup runner. Good quality race. Surprised the volume of money is so low. Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about horses. As I said, like, barely know what the head and tail is. But in terms of tradability, 75 grand is a decent amount. I'm guessing this here. Yeah, I just kind of follow where the money is really in terms of what might be tradable. 7 minutes to the off. And I do, anyone watching on Twitch at the moment, do publish these to YouTube after. So if for whatever reason you want to watch it over again, it's all there. I certainly just watch them over just to see what I've done wrong, can improve. But if you happen to watch on YouTube, feel free to give a like or subscribe on there. So let's have a look. Seeing this run away and drift, I'm just wary about these previous highs as it moves higher to that. Could find resistance. This here is approaching previous lows, at least on the chart, finding support, so that could mean it could bounce. There's still not substantial amounts of money really coming through. See, look, £2 on the bloody touch. That's it's not enough. If this was on the touch, that would be better. And by the touch, I mean the best available lay and buy price, lay and back price. So it's come round. It looks like it's heading into that resistance. Could fall away. See if there's anything else. Oh, this looks like it's come in quite aggressively past fours. Don't want my attention to be diverted by too many things, but this has caught my eye just because of this aggressive move in, and it's past fours as well. 5 minutes to the off, and in my opinion no discerning amounts of money come in, so this could be a reasonable. I am contemplating shorting this or backing it.
This event will start in 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
But again, I don't want to like sell into that support. I want to sell off resistance. So this finding resistance here could pull this back in again, which is going to inadvertently affect this. Right, I'm going to put something outside the money here. So looking for a decent fill on this with the anticipation that there could be some movement lower that finds support potentially or breaks, but not getting a decent fill, and time's running down. This here is starting to drift aggressively. Could go long on that. It's coming to support. Likely retrace. Yeah, just have to pass on that one really. Again, a more experienced trader might be able to read that differently, but for me, I am what the fuck has happened with this? This is coming in from 40s to 2s, which is why we're seeing this really fucked up chart here. So can't really read if this was a logarithmic chart, that would be a lot easier to read, but it's just taken the absolute values, which means I can't really tell any recent price action, whether that's drifted or what. But I mean, it's clearly come in. See the matched prices, it's come in, but can't see recently. This has gone out. Quite high odds though. So these two might be inversely related, as this has come in, this has gone out. Let's see what I can make of this. 10 minutes to the off, 60 grand matched, good enough, tight enough book. Happy days, just need to see the opportunity. 10, 11 minutes drifting. So this is coming into resistance. Normally you wouldn't trade odds this high, but I may do on this occasion, just because of the clarity on what I can see on the chart, and you know, it's had a decent amount matched. So it looks like tens, basically on this, tens has been a resistance point, and it's a crossover point as well. Obviously things that make that important is, as it goes into tens, it has a likelihood to fall away, or if it persists with this upwards and breaks, it breaking these previous highs would be, you know, a significant thing in the market. So it breaking higher than that, could see it move higher and then pull back and then move higher again. This one I'm finding a little bit harder to read because of the way the chart is just mashed the fuck up, but I'm anticipating that 3 could be resistance and it move lower. Have been moving lower, just can't see it because of the way the chart is squashed up. 10 minutes to go. See what I see. In fact, here this looks like it's a second favorite now as well. Just reorder. This has been hitting support a lot, so this could be good for a fade off of these types of levels. And I'm looking at things over, you know, various selections, but I mean, a better approach might be just to focus on one. But you know, it's just looking for opportunity as it's there. Alper, I can't read your name there. Alperkinmez. Totally mispronounced that. Are we becoming billionaires? I'm not at the moment, no. As you can see, I'm just practicing. It's practice hours here. I'm using smallest stakes possible, just so I can get some long-term profitability, and then yeah, probably won't become a billionaire from doing this, but can make a decent living. But yeah, just practice hours at the moment. Do you trade yourself? So just keeping an eye on what's going on here. 8 minutes to go. Should be more money coming in the next 3 minutes. Al, okay, so you just buy gold. Yeah, fair enough. Good time to be in gold. Definitely had a peek at the charts the other day. Approaching all-time highs. Bitcoin as well, if you do that kind of thing. Yeah, this is more trading rather than investing. So looking for short-term markets. And these, this isn't even a financial market. These are horses that I'm trading like a financial market. There are many similarities. So I'm just pissed off that this first one here, I can't really get have that as my instrument to see what's been happening in recent times on this one. He's asking, what am I buying exactly? I'm trading the pre-market for horses. So these are basically horse races. These are all different horses, but I'm not betting or on the outcome of a particular horse winning. I'm trading the before market movements and then hedging that win or loss across all the outcomes, so that regardless of what horse wins, I would make a profit or loss. Not very well explained, but yeah, that's the gist of it. So I'm trading horse races, you know, is one way to think of it. Oh, this chart's really thrown me, because this is definitely coming in and I should be just reading the price action more, but my preferred instrument is charts. So this is coming aggressively, which means something else has to have been drifting, or on aggregate they have all been drifting. And I don't want to be the mug here as well that just jumps on this just because it's coming in. So as much as I would love to short this, I've got to just stay a bit disciplined and wait for something that's a bit more readable, and in fact probably trade the drift in something else if I can see it. So this here could be worth the drift, worth laying, but this is retracing now.
This event will start in 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
5 minutes to the off. And you can see this is the second race where I haven't really made a decision. I haven't placed a position just because I can't see any clarity as to what to do. That might be boring for some people, like, oh, I want to do something, it's moving, got to do something. But really that's a good way to lose money. And I've done it, don't get me wrong, I've done that lots of times. Just because it's moving you feel like you're missing out, but I don't really feel like I'm missing out anything here. I'm just preserving, you know, money so I can continue to trade. And that's part of what it is, being able to trade another day, no matter what market you're in. If the market takes your money, you're fucked. You've either got to add more or you know, make it back. So there's no real fear of missing out for me. So it does look like it's on a slight drift, which you'd expect because this has been coming in and you've got that seesaw action. So this has gone down, this pressure here is then driving this and the other selection presumably out. You can see that one dramatically has gone out. But I've only got two eyes, so I can't look at everything at the same time. So it's just good to have a plan and, you know, see if the market falls into that narrative and trade according to that. So Al, you're just asking, does the races take place? Yeah, so these are UK races that I'm trading. You'll generally see the most liquid markets will be the UK races, although I've heard like the Australian markets have seen a lot more liquidity lately, as have the US ones, but predominantly these UK ones are the ones that I trade. And yeah, so 7 days a week, so there's lots of opportunity. Yeah, but I've made a bit of a hash of this, just yammered away. I haven't really taken any positions just because it hasn't really been clear to me what to do. And I'm by no means an expert at this. I do have experience in other markets, but yeah, that's the second one I've passed on. 2 minutes. This, if anyone familiar with like options markets, this can be quite similar to an options market in that you've got a fixed expiry. So the closer it gets to the off of the race starting, the more volatility that you'll see appear in the market as well. So excuse me. So you know, these last minute, you'll see these just jumping around. This is the volume of the matched prices. So the, you know, this increased volatility, it's just people, you know, might be bookmakers on the track squaring out positions, people just who've made a loss squaring out their positions, or people who've made a profit taking profits. But yeah, there'll be more volume and more erratic movements nearer to the off. So that's two that I've passed on today. So Al's just asking here, so you're actually making... I'm not making a living from this at the moment. No, the whole point of this is really to potentially have it as another income stream. I do other stuff, and I'd suggest anyone who's interested in this, don't jump into this thinking that you can make a living from it straight off the bat, and anyone who tells you that is fucking lying. This is just practice house. So at the moment, all I'm doing is using the minimum stakes, just trying to improve the strike rate. So strike rate is basically how frequently I can win, so how I'm reading the markets, and then from there I'm looking to scale up if I can prove myself in that. So scale up in terms of increase the position size. So at the moment £2 is the minimum that you can trade on this, but ultimately I'm looking to, you know, if this works out, then up this to like £200 and upwards types of stakes. But at the moment, not quite there. I've just been doing this for about a week, so I'm just trying to get some practice in. So it's all practice hours really. But can you make a living from this? Yeah, there are people that can do this. There are some who purport to do this and just don't. They'll just try and sell you a course or whatever. But yeah, it's possible. But it can take a lot of, as with anything, a lot of hard work. A lot of it can be boring. Some people might just be turned off by the fact this is just, you know, you're looking like the last two races have been, there's been movement around, but I haven't actually done anything, just looked at them. So, you know, certain personalities might find it quite boring, or there might just be a different way to trading that might be more suited to your personality. But yeah, I think to make a full-time income out of this, or a secondary income out of this, you do need to be patient. But I've got no timeline on this really. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, hey, got other ways to make money. So we have got, looks like we've had some very similar priced horses around sixes here. They're almost, you know, identical. And first things that kind of pop out are these two very similar, similarly correlated. These are almost identical charts. This has been drifting. This has been quite flat. The favourite, 8 minutes to the off, 60 grand matched, 102 book. Could be tighter, but good enough. See how we can play this. So two steamers. One drifter. So I'm thinking here, this could be, in terms of readability, this 6 here, 6 could act as a support, which is this lower high that we've seen here. So going long on this could be or laying this is a viable play I'm potentially seeing. How long we got? 7 minutes. So I'm going to put a position in here in the anticipation that this is going to act as support. So hopefully I'll get matched on this. Need another £46 to be taken up before I get matched. It might move off. I might not get matched. I'm just not going in too aggressively, so I could just immediately enter my my trade here to go at the market at the touch price, but I'm looking for a bit more value. So I've got this reference point here. So the market moving lower than the 6s, that will be some indication I'm wrong. But it's a sensible enough place at least to have an entry, because if it does move past there, I can just get out at break even or just a small loss. But I'm just going to go light. It's a bit of a sticky market here. You can see putting that order in a good few moments ago and it still hasn't been taken up. So that's what I mean by sticky. It just doesn't, you know, in a more liquid market, as soon as you put the order in, bang, it's taken up. This has been a while that I'm waiting for this to get matched. So partially, bloody hell, partially matched there, that £2. So we've got some skin in the game. And in fact, I'm just gonna put my closing trade there, just because there isn't that much volatility in the market to make it convincing that this could move much higher. But I feel that at least it could get matched at the touch, which is where it's at now, to at least take some money out. And again, it's not really about the money at this point. It's just about trading well, getting direction right, having a directional bias, making sure that I am doing that right. Again, this is taking a while to see if this gets matched. At the moment, I could just take a profit here at like 1 tick profit. So I could just move this order down and get filled. But I feel there's enough reason at least to stay in to potentially get out at a 2 tick profit. But just not being too greedy and, you know, trying to go for a profit up here, which is way out the money. And has a lower probability of getting hit.
This event will start in 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
So got filled there. So just I don't know if you're still there, but this is what I was talking about in terms of these. So these are all different selections. These are all different horses. This is about 12 horses in this race. So out and out betting would mean that I'm betting on one of these. I'd have a profit if that one alone comes in, but I'd lose if any of the others come in. So the way that I've traded this here, you can see this second favorite here. At the moment, as it stands, if this comes in, it means I've got a 76p profit and no liability on any of the other outcomes. So if I wanted, I could just have a risk-free bet, if you like, on this outcome, on this horse, and make 76p. Just if this comes in and lose nothing else, if none of the others, if any of the others come in. The great thing about this now is I do want to have a profit regardless of the outcome. So what I do here is I'm hedging that profit that I would have on this one across all of the outcomes. So regardless of which one wins, I make 11 or 12p overall. And that's it. I know nothing about horse racing. Absolute sweet FA. But I can trade the the movement pre-market like a financial market to make a profit. And this has still got 3 minutes to the off. Regardless of who wins there, I've made a profit, or would have hedged up a loss if I had a loss on that one. But yeah, on to the next one. Okay, this looks interesting. We've got an odds-on favourite because it's less than 2s, steamed in. So steaming is when it comes in like on a downtrend, if you like. So Al's asking, computer does the math and you just decide how you want to take the. Yeah, I mean, I don't need to figure out how much to hedge. If you want, it will just show me what my potential profit or loss would be in the column, and I just put a button and it lays it off for me into the market. So yeah, that's how it works. So this is favourites steaming in, downtrend. This second favourite had come in, but it looks like it's on a gentle drift, possibly with a pullback. This one here is consolidating like crazy. So, but my main focus is on the favourite here, because this is where all the money's going to be. Like the first or second favourite normally. You can see this is the matched volume that's happened at these levels. So this is 48 grand, 22 grand. So this is where all the money is. So especially when I use bigger stakes, that's going to be important, because you need the market to absorb the orders. So just going to get a temperature for this. So just going to not take any rash moves, even though I can see I'm favouring shorting this, but I'm not. Just want to see how the money moves first of all. There's a decent, you see how frequent these are coming in and how big the numbers are. This is good. It means that the market's relatively liquid, and there's still 11 minutes to the off. So this has had a retrace. Now, is that a lower high or is that a potential reversal? I am gonna speculate and put in get some skin in the game. So got matched there at was it 202? So I'm anticipating this will move lower. This 2s could be a problem area. You can see there's a lot of volume being matched there already, and it is this crossover point. So when it comes to these crossovers, or psychological levels, I like to call them psych levels, they can bounce or break through. More money coming through, that's helpful. So big amounts are going to push the weight of money to potentially move this lower. This drifting is going to help, because at the corner of my eye I'm just seeing that move up higher. For now though, I'm just gonna thin that position out and keep this in. So what I'm saying here is, should this retrace and bounce off of 2s, I've got filled at a better price, with the scope of it again busting through 2s. But the fact it's just finding support at this level, you can see that's where the brunt of the money's been matched as well. It's just a bit of a concern, so I'm just waiting for a bit more clarity. So Al, I have seen your message come up. I'm just trying to keep one eye on the market at the same time, and I'm a crap multitasker. I'm just going to see if I can read it quickly. So you're saying, so can you also say there's no way horse X wins, so computer doesn't put money on it and improve the other profits? Just take a sec to process what you're saying there. So there's no way horse X wins, so I'm not sure I understand your question. You say there's no way horse X wins, so I'm not sure I understand your question there, Al. But I mean, what I'm doing here is basically I don't care what the outcome is. So the way that there's different ways that you can play this. If you wanted, you could have more profit on potentially one and less on others. You can have it at the moment. So you can see here I've got a tick. So there's 4p on this and 0 on the others. So if this one were to come in, I'd win 4p on this and nothing on the others. But I prefer, my approach is basically to focus on 1 or 2 horses, get profit on that, and then spread it across all the outcomes, so that there's no regardless of what happens, you make an overall profit. But there's so many different variations that you could do, really. So this as well it's come down to 3s. It's found support at 3s. You can see that in the chart historically, all the way back here, more recently here and here. And the dynamic of this has changed as well. Whereas before, as I was looking at this, oh yeah, this is steaming in. That's a nice one to short, you can see it's just come down, hit support, and it's a bit more rangy now. So that's important really, to just be aware of how the dynamic of a market can change, so you don't get fucked over. You can see, look, if I'd still been short on that and just been, you know, wrong and strong, oh, this, you know, believing this is going to move down, this is going to move down, that position would have gone against me. I'll be managing a loss now. So it is important to listen to what the market's telling you. So at the moment this is drifting, and I feel this is going to continue to come in potentially, because it's broken threes and this is moving out. So I'm going to attempt to take a position on the short side of this, and of course it might all go wrong, but hey, I'm just going on what I feel could happen, and at least there's a story that I'm hoping will play out. So I'm hoping that this 3 will act as resistance and that this will continue to drift, but there is a lot of money coming in to push this down now, so I could be wrong on this, but we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. So I need this to come in, I need this to go out ideally, and I've got a net stake of 4 at the moment, so I'm looking to take a partial exit, so some of that out early on in the move, and then potentially ride and leave some money in for a bigger move. And I'm constantly wary of this 5 minutes to the off, so the nearer this gets to the off, the less time I have to maneuver, so the more risky it becomes, in my opinion. Some people can trade that volatility as it gets nearer, but hey, if I can make a profit early on,
this event will start in 5 minutes.
And not have to worry, that suits me better. 150. Okay. So I'm happy to hold this position, at least for the interim. May thin it out. So I'm just holding tight on this, because this does, there's been some upward movements on there. This is maintaining its resistance as threes, but I just need to be wary that shit can change in a second. It's 3 minutes to the off. I'm just going to thin this out, in fact. So I'm thinning out the position. So what I mean by that is I'm taking less risk overall. And you can see I'd gotten in. Oh, there we go. So I've got, have I just got matched? Yeah, I've just got matched. So I've got matched on both positions. So this is a profit now on this outcome of 8p on this one, and then 4p on this one, and then 0 on the others. But what this software allows you to do is basically take these 2 profits and then share them across all the outcomes, which would mean that there's 5p overall. But yeah, I mean, of course, just scale that up in terms of numbers. If rather than £2 I was using £20, that would be 50p. If it was £200, then it would be £5 across our outcomes. And just be wary, you can't, there is a limit to how much money you can put into these markets, really, in terms of what they can absorb. So thinking of, you know, putting £2,000 into these types of markets, it's not really going to take it. You're going to move the market. So you need to, if you were to use like £2,000, £3,000 stakes, then the way to do that would be like in iceberg orders. So you'd put little bits of little chunks, you'd break up the orders. So rather than, oh, why does it keep doing that? rather than one big order of 2 grand, you might want to put in, you know, 4 orders of 500 or, you know, smaller. Just having a few problems getting onto the next one here. I don't know why it's doing this. Okay. So, yammering away there. Next one here is... Oh, this might be cutting about fine. 155. So Al's just asking, so you first invest in the one that you think will go up, then spread it by the end to then... So first you invest in one that you think will go up and then spread it by the end to make... Yeah, basically you're asking there, like, yeah, so basically you look for one that you think is going to go up or down, trade that, ideally make a profit on that, and then spread that profit across all of the outcomes. So yeah, that's essentially it. Or if you make a loss, it's the same methodology. So if you make a loss, then you would spread your loss across all of the outcomes. It's just one approach. The other would be just to carry the liability on one outcome. So let's say on this one I was trading this frontal assault, I could just have the liability run on that, but for me that's just too much like gambling. Might as well back or lay the horse out front. So 5 minutes to the off, so cutting it a bit fine. 56 grand, that's matched, that's okay. 101% book, it's pretty tight. Got a favourite that's been drifting, hitting resistance. Second favourite, very choppy, moving within a channel, not make any persistent higher highs or higher lows. Decent amount of volume in the markets by the feel of it. It's just these prices moving around. This has just broken a new high, which could push this lower.
This event will start in 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
I'm looking to potentially short this. I might have been a bit too expedient this. I should have got more of a temperature for the market before jumping in there. Just going to reorder these. And you can see I just reordered, and there is in fact another one that I hadn't really clocked. So that can be a lesson learned. Don't jump in too quickly to shit. Just looking to lay off some of these positions because I don't feel I traded that particularly well. Should have composed myself a bit more. So I'm carrying a profit on this one, but the objective here isn't to make money, it's to trade well. And you can see, you know, in fact I think I'm going to leave this one for now. I'm going to green up and go, take my money and run, because there was a lot happening there and I was just jumping on the movements rather than just taking a pause just to see what's going on. There was other stuff going on. I think it was this one I saw that was drifting, which could make this move in, but there was another favorite that was also coming in that I hadn't noticed. I only noticed after taking the position. And yeah, I would have been doing all right on this, but it can easily go the other way. It can easily, yeah, you can easily get fucked over. Just having a few problems getting to the next trade here for some reason. Come on. Fucking window. Let's try that again. So next one is at 2:03. Got a bit more time on this one. So I was asking, and prices go up as money come in into the same one. So you're asking the prices. Al's question is, prices go up as more money come into the same one. So prices will move around. They'll be basically nearer to the off, and you'll see this with this one. You can see at the moment that it's quite sleepy. There's not much movement. These numbers aren't jumping around as you would have seen on the other one. It's very, very sleepy. So there's not much movement in this market. And to make money, you need movement. You need volatility. So the nearer to the off there is, so in this 10 minutes to 5 minutes before they're off, there's more money that comes into the market, which is gonna, you can see now it's getting a bit more lively. So this is going to move the market around a lot more, and then therefore present opportunity to, you know, to capitalize on that. So the money coming in and differing opinions is going to move the price around, which is what, you know, as a trader you're trying to capitalize on. You're not really trying to say which of these is going to win or lose. You're just trying to anticipate, at least for the, you know, the short term, what that movement's going to be. So it's more of like, it's like a technical play. So if you, Al, you mentioned you do gold, so it's not really a fundamental understanding of what, you know, what drivers could make people you know, buy or sell gold. It's more like looking at a chart and doing technical analysis and thinking, okay, in the short term there could be this movement, or looking at the order book, which effectively these are just like order books for financial markets, and thinking, you know, this is the weight of money's here, so in the short term it's going to make this movement, and trying to capitalize on that. So this one, the favorite here, is coming into resistance, these previous highs, resistance being the ceiling that the price struggles to move higher than. So it could fall away. The fact that this is coming into sixes, which could act as support, would help that theory. So as this finds support, it will then move up. As this finds resistance, it will then move down. Just reorder these just in case. And these two charts, I was just looking at this, it's just reordered it to this one. These are two very similar charts in terms of the most recent movement. Very rangy, you can see from here through to here. But I'm favoring a short on this, although it could has viably broken that resistance. 7 minutes to the off. This looks like it's persisting. That could have broken support. That could be a breakout. So what I'm doing here is anticipating that this is a break, and this chart hasn't actually updated yet, and this could move lower as this moves higher. Just trying to get a fill on this. That might not be the best of fills actually. Ah shit, too late. Market decided for me. So it's just going to take out a tick, hopefully. That wasn't the best of fills. What I mean by that is it was too expensive. I paid too much for it, I felt. But nonetheless, I did get a tick out of it, and I've left this position in here should the market retrace. I'm just not convinced this is a lower low. I just feel it's finding support, which is why I wanted to get a better price on it, because that would mean that if it does come back into support, then it's going to be easier to scratch it, to get out at break even. But as it turns out, it looks like it could in fact have legs and move lower. Just going to cancel that and reassess. What's going on here? What's going on, bravo? What's going on? So this does look like it's starting to steam. This has done some fuckery here. 5-6 minutes to the off. Made a tiny tick on this. 4 pence. So what do we do? What do we do? Just waiting for something a bit more readable. to come in. This could be producing a higher low. So in a downtrend, you're going to see lower highs and lower lows. So that little blip there where it's kind of come down and pulled back up could be a lower high, and in seeing that, the price would then make an impulse move down further and break and make new lows, which it could do. But I'm not really positioned at the moment to take advantage of that. So it's coming to support here, and it is approaching 5s again, another crossover point where it could find support and then bounce. Just have a quick reorder just in case anything's dramatically moved. This was really the one to be on, to be honest. Just going to put a speculative short in here in the anticipation that this could pull back and find resistance at around this level. 5.5. I need to bring that down a bit. This coming in is going to help move this out at least slightly and hopefully find support here. And hang on, let me just concentrate here for a sec. So what I'm anticipating is it finds support here and moves higher, and this will hopefully give me another tick and find resistance here and then move lower. I'm just going to move this down. So this is the reason I cancel that, and I've just had a peek at the time to the off. As I said, entering positions nearer to the off is riskier because I've got less time to fix them. And I may in fact just call it a day on this one. Just give it a little bit more. Oh shit, got filled on it. Just try my luck here, trying to get an extra tick. It could go against me. 183 in the queue, so I'm near the front of the queue. I could just at this point drag it up, take the tick and go, or that greed could be come back to bite me in the arse. So I'm just trying to get one more tick above. It has worked this time. 2 minutes to go. Green that up. Yeah, that trade was slightly more on the risky, well, in my opinion, in terms of the way I trade, was slightly more on the risky side in terms of the time that was available. Had that gone against me and, you know, strongly broken that resistance and moved higher, but yeah, got a couple of ticks out of that. Probably I'll rewatch that one just to see, because I think maybe could have been a bit heavier in that, or at least left it in for a little bit longer to milk those profits. But woulda, coulda, shoulda. You never know what the market's going to do, so you can only do your best. So on to the next one, 1412. And everything here, as I said before, is just on my YouTube channel as well. I've only been doing this a week, so just been recording them, recording day to day here every day from about midday or half past midday. Trade for a couple of hours and then upload them to YouTube, and probably take out some bits as well. I haven't really done any editing on them. As again, as I said, from now it's really just for me, just to help capture my train of thought. So Al's just asking, by the time you started watching, yeah, I'd made small profit. I've made well, funny enough, the first trade of the day was a loss that was in profit. So basically I started trading and the bloody mic was off. And very thankful that one of the guys watching here just mentioned Weppy TV that the mic was off, and in looking to fix that, the trade then went into a loss. So I think I started off the day with about a 50p loss that was potentially a profit I would have managed. But so far on the day, just to go over my P&L, started off, so there was a 45p gain that I made that wasn't whilst I was live. That was at 12:10, but then 12:30 there was a 4p profit, then minus 58p, then a profit of 1p, a profit of 11p, profit of 22p, profit of 11p, profit of 5p, and I think there's one that's going to be settled there that hasn't settled yet, so about another 10p. But all in all, I'm up about I guess 50p overall. Again, not not massive profits, you know, but it's not the profits looking at, it's the money doesn't matter. That's why I'm working with such small amounts. It's the strike rate for now what's important, how frequently I win against how frequently I lose. And as well, there isn't a proper staking plan that I have here. At the moment I'm using £2 across the board for each of these odds, which isn't gonna be, you know, there should be a staking plan where basically the lower odds should have higher amounts of money that I'm trading with, and then the higher odds would have less. But I'm not worried about that. My main focus is strike rate for now. So 7 minutes to the off. Favorite fives, second favorite just come into fives. This is drifting. This has been on a slight drift as well. This has been consolidating. This has been very choppy. Front two here are what take my main focus. Just have a quick reorder just in case there's anything else that I've missed. So this has drifted and it's come back in. It looks like it might be finding support at this level here. It's about this is so hard to read. Is that a 5? I think that's a, I think can't even follow this. I think that's finding support at 5s, which makes sense looking at the volume match there. So potentially looking to go long on this, so I'd need to see this persist to come in. Actually, that story works quite well. So this, what I'm looking at is this potentially finding resistance off of the 6 and being a lower high, and this for finding support off of 5s and potentially moving higher. So I've entered a position here to hopefully get in at 5.3. I may get matched, I may not. So just going nice and light first of all, potentially looking to add to the position. 5 minutes to the off. On the right side of this, at least for now, this has moved in. You see in the chart as well. This is coming up into resistance, so this is like the highest it's been so far in recent times, so I just need to be wary that it might just bounce off of that as it comes into this previous high. But the good thing is the way I've positioned this now, I've got some wiggle room in terms of where I'd be losing money. It would need to come back past.
This event will start in 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
It would need to come past 5.3. Oh, look at, okay, I'm just gonna. You can see that massive jump in the market there. That shows I was on the right side of that. Of course, I didn't know that was going to happen, but it just means that I've been able to capitalize on that massive jump that it just took. Got out whilst it was still in profit, and greened up now for well, this will be a 20p win on this or 18 on any of the others. And you can see after those types of reactions, typically there'll be like a retrace, which kind of, it's like a knee jerk. So it jumped up. What did I get filled on these? 5.9. So I got in here. Only got out 6.2. Really? Let me just make sure I haven't got anything else pending in there. No. So, oh no, okay, so 5, 5.3, 5.9. Okay, so I got in at 5.3 and I got out at 5.9. So this was the entry, this was the exit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 ticks profit. And now it's kind of settling at where that previous high was. So it's finding resistance, trouble moving much higher. But yeah, that's why sometimes just having that speculative order, sometimes you'll see me have a closing order way outside the money. I didn't have it that time, but way outside the money, because those type of things can happen. It can just jump erratically and you can get matched. But I'm not going to trade anymore on this one because time is at 3 minutes now. Time's ticking down. I've got a decent enough profit. Time to move on. Just make sure still up and running on these things here. Yeah, thanks Richard 82. Yeah, in at 5.3, out at 5.9, and then a hedge at 6.2 for green across the board. But so far it's been a relatively good day. Not every day is like this. Like the last 2 days have been losing trades, losing days. You got to be aware, just a momentary lapse in concentration can fuck up everything that you've done, which happened on the previous days. Yeah, just be constantly aware of, of that. If you find your concentration waning, stop. If you've made a decent enough, or what you feel is a decent return enough on the day, then you can stop. It just depends on your what works for you. So I mean, I guess to start out, if you're starting out, I would say just trade as much as you can at the smallest amounts possible, and just have enough trades so that you can decide, what type of a trader you are. So I'm still very much learning this. So what we got? 8 minutes to the off. Threes, favorite coming in by the looks of it, but finding support. Second favorite, very closely matched. Come in and then just consolidating, finding support. This one has been drifting like mad, hitting resistance. Just have a quick read on that. Might be favouring this to drift, just because these have both been coming in and it's been hard to tell which might continue. And there's a decent reference points of 4s of support on this. So, well, that's just broken past it, hasn't it? Gonna leave it for now. See if I get filled on this. Put something in outside the money in case it moves up. So what I need here it's for these first or second favorites to start, you know, ideally coming in, or just for this to start drifting, so to move up. And it can be tricky just to keep an eye on everything, you know. I mean, my main focus is on this, but I'm just out of my peripheral vision trying to keep an eye on what the other ones are doing. I am in can break even on this if I want, can make a tick here, can take a profit. So there are options, but I'm leaving this one in because I've got, you know, decent position on it, but just wary of any signs of potential reversal. I've got matched on it. Okay, so I'm just gonna 6 minutes tee off. So made a few ticks on that, but just don't want to be too overzealous. So I have got some profits. So now the thoughts here, I've made some profit, which is pretty similar to what I'd be, you know, trading maybe to the wire as well. Do I want to jeopardize that by taking on new positions when I will have less time to work with? I guess, I mean, that's the $1 million question, really, or £1 million question. So it all, I guess the answer to that is just how clear the opportunity appears, and also, would my time be better spent getting into the next market, which will give me more time to work with, than trying to just focus on what's here? So those are some good questions to just be asking yourself and get answers to by trading enough markets and seeing what the outcomes are. What we got? 5 minutes to the off. So these seems
This
to
event will start in 5 minutes.
These
5
two
minutes.
seem to have kind of separated from each other and what they're doing. They initially, I think, were both coming in. So I was looking at this movement and then flattening out. But since been looking at this, this has drifted persistently. This has steamed. I wouldn't say persistent, but it's gently drifted. This is gently steamed, and this is pretty much consolidated. So whereas my overall thought of this potentially moving, you know, continuing this uptrend hasn't come to fruition, it has consolidated. And because I'd taken out profits, you know, at sensible areas before resistance, at least I've been able to make some money off of that. But I'm gonna just, I think, green and go on this one, even though there's, you know, there's plenty of time left on this. I'm not looking to at this point at least jeopardize those gains. So only 5 minutes to the next off. 8 minutes 50. 45 grand match, that's decent enough. 1.5%. Yeah, VIG in the book, so it's a nice tight book. Oof. It's very just consolidated within the range. It's just been bouncing around, you know, these highs here to these lows here, just within a channel. So no discernible trend on that. This here looks more interesting in that it's was very choppy, but it's broken through, made a new lows and started to steam. Just going to reorder these just in case. These aren't as important. Starting to drift. Both approaching threes, which could have impacts in different ways. So just gonna hang fire here. There isn't a whole lot of money as of yet. It's a medium amount of money in my opinion. I prefer to see bigger amounts. So I'm considering a short on this. This chart hasn't updated, but when it does, it should show a pullback. It's more of a consolidation. I mean, it's a slight lower high. So how can I trade this? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? 7 minutes to off. So it looks like it has, so it's broken and it's just finding resistance about, you know, around these just above freeze. And this looks like it's found support around freeze. So a break of either those, you know, much higher or much lower, could see a continuation of this move that we've seen here, or this move to the downside. But I'm just wary that it could just reverse back in, so that it finding resistance and struggling to move higher could mean it bounces back down or consolidates. Same here, it might just consolidate or reverse. At this point nothing's particularly clear to me, so I'm doing nothing, just spectating. Move down into threes. This could mean a bounce, this move here, so this could go up, as it did. So, I mean, as you can see here, just because I have an inclination of what the market might do, and I'm being right about it, doesn't mean I can act on it. So, you know, these numbers are still quite thin as well. There's not a lot of volume. So, whereas my £2 stake is easily going to be absorbed in this, if it was, you know, 100 times that, even, you know, 10 times, it might not get filled. It's persisted lower. So dynamic of this has changed.
Will start in 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Whereas this was previously looking for download, you see, it's found support off of those frees and it's reversed, which is what I was wary of. That's why I didn't want to jump on what was apparently a steamer. I didn't want to jump in on that too early, because there wasn't really evidence that that could continue. This now looks like it could reverse. Mike, yeah, 4 minutes to off. Definitely more volume coming. You can see that there's like three figure numbers or appearing rather than just 2-digit. And back into resistance. So break of that could mean a move higher. Got less time per maneuver now. So just feels like more. Yeah, in fact, look, felt like there was just more money coming on this. I was right. This is almost twice. This has now become it's the second favorite, but there's more money matched on it. It's 42 grand matched on this, whereas 24 on this. And it just felt like there was more. You can see here at the front, it's like hundreds of pounds, where it's only, you know, tens of pounds on there. So this is where all the attention is, really, even though it's at higher odds than the favorite. 3 minutes. Kind of fine. Haven't seen any discernible trend. Lots of consolidation. Haven't made a move yet. Yeah, I just feel it's a bit better to move on to the next thing. 10 minutes to off on this. Similar priced favorite and second favorite, both at 4s. Fucking hell. So they're going to be making up, I guess, what, that's 40% of the book. Just see. 50% of the book. Indeedy. So fruit shoot 82. Oh, appreciate it, friend. Yeah, it's been an okay day today. Thank you for watching, and yeah, I should be here each day around the same time from about midday. Appreciate you watching, man. Take care. So we've got fours, consolidation, fact. These look like they might be, there's some correlation. I'm just looking at this move here, and then a move down and consolidating, this move here and then consolidates. So yeah, this is just a waiting game, and this is where, in terms of, you know, just keeping an eye on yourself. I mean, you can see at the moment I'm in profit on the day, but this could be easily be ruined by trading a shitty quality market or just getting complacent. Yeah, you know, I've made profit and last, and this shit's easy, let me go and double this or triple this, and that's how you're going to lose money. So just be, you know, cautious of that. Any fatigue that you might be getting in the day as well, just so that you you know, you preserve your capital. Just live to trade another day, because this, to be honest, these times can be the most dangerous when you just get a little bit too overconfident. I mean, I've passed on quite a few today, which in fact could be a good, I mean, I feel that's a good sign, because it's showing at least you know, an ability to evaluate what you need to see, what I need to see anyway in a race before trading it. So I must have passed on about 3 or 4 races today just because the conditions weren't right. So that certainly feels like a step forward. And yeah, that's why I think anyone else who's interested in doing this should just be aware of what your progress is, because I don't think I'm perfectly aware, like, it's not all gonna click all at once, at least not for me. There's some people who might be fucking naturals at this and just say, oh right, yeah, Rain Man the shit out of this makes sense. But empirically that's proven that I'm not that guy. So it's just little wins really. So firstly, making sure that I always close out before every race, you know, being able to do that consistently, tick. Staying consistent in terms of the position sizes, being able to do that pretty much, tick, even though making losses sometimes. And just getting more familiar with how the markets, you know, reading the markets. Are they going in my favor? Are they not? Got plenty of video now that's just you know, historically can look over to see an improvement. And I think that's the only way you can see how you've improved, just by having empirical stuff to look over, like the early days, see what the journey's been. He says probably gonna mess up on the next one here, but hey ho. So what we got? We've got it breaking 4s. That's going to be interesting. Could now find resistance off the 4s. This will probably update and show a breakout, break lower in the next few seconds. But now that it's broken that, it could now come back and find resistance off of those 4s. But this is also started to break, which is we'd want this to drift. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a tentative short in there, hoping that this finds resistance off of 4s, and this finds support off of 4s. So I want this to move higher, and obviously this one to move lower. I'm going to put a tentative closing order in there. So what I'm saying now is this has to make new lows for me to make money. It has to break out, and it has to make, well, at least match previous lows. Just looking at this level here.
This event will start.
So my take profit isn't isn't too greedy. It's viable. Could have gone heavier on this, and there still is opportunity to, because what I prefer to do is have an order taken out relatively early on, so taking some money off the table, but then also having something in for a bigger move, which would be that bigger breakout, and making that impulsive move much lower. But yeah, market doesn't always do what you want it to do. It looks like it could be consolidating. Oh no, okay, I'm on a touch, so I've got filled there, made a profit. I do feel this could move much lower, so I've definitely left money, or could have left money on the table there. But really the way for me to have capitalized with that would be having a heavier position earlier on, and basically taking a partial exit on one and leaving one in for a bigger move. But that hasn't happened today. So 3 minutes to the off, made some green. Gonna green and go. Yeah, I may call it a day for today actually. It's another thing, just know your limits, know when to hold them. That's a fucking, if you want a song to go by, Kenny Rogers the Gambler is definitely good for any trading or poker player. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Best fucking advice you can get in this. So I'm, for today at least, just gonna fold them. I feel that there's definitely more potential in the market, but just starting to feel a bit of fatigue, if you like, and that might be to my detriment if I continue to trade. There's one from the other day where it's just like a similar point, continued to trade, especially around this time coming into 3 o'clock. Historically, that's where my I've seen losses start to occur. Don't know why that is. Might just be psychological thing, might be a change in the actual markets at that time. Don't know, who knows. But for now, I'm just gonna call it a day, and I'll be back tomorrow around the same time, around 12:30, and then upload these daily to YouTube as well. I think the link should be in my channel description here on Twitch. But yeah, appreciate the interaction from the guys that have been on here today. A few people, much appreciated. Got an extra follow as well, appreciated. Thanks a lot guys, and see you tomorrow.